Ba 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 da ba da ba ba ba. Ba da ba 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 da ba da ba ba ba. Ba da ba 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 da. Ba da ba 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 da ba ba. Ba da ba ba. Welcome to the Saturday morning cartoons. Saturday morning cartoons. Like, maybe you don't remember. I don't. Do they even do that anymore? But when I was a kid, we didn't have cable TV. We were poor, and but we lived like near Los Angeles. And Los Angeles, where is Hollywood. So there was like a lot of TV stations there, and those TV stations would use their money to make big TV antennas, and they would literally broadcast over the airwaves, like via power through electricity, the power of electricity. They would use the airwaves to literally like send a signal out from their broadcasting tower, and then we would use whatever we could, like it was usually a wire hanger as our little antenna that we would put into our TV, and then adjust it so we could to get the picture to come in, and then we could watch TV, right? And then like there was like, and on Saturday mornings the TV stations would broadcast all the Saturday mornings to like about noon. All the TV stations would broadcast cartoons. So Saturday morning cartoons. It'd be nice to wake up early just to like eat cereal and watch cartoons like all Saturday morning. So yeah. Anymore, we don't use radio waves like that. The broadcasting is different nowadays. Yeah, buddy. That's a lot of cobblestone. Let's just take the shulker box. 2 shulker boxes, dude. You're set. Okay. What's that? Stuff. I don't know. Where shall I go? The world's a crazy place right now. I mean, it's always been crazy, right? But it's just, the craziness has just increased by a lot. And look, the United States is paralyzed because the Confederates are causing chaos. And an insurrectionist is trying to become Speaker of the House. It's crazy. It's crazy. Jimmy Jordan wants to be Speaker of the House. The guy who defied a congressional subpoena. Okay, so what are we looking at? We're looking to make another workstation. There's another workstation, but now I need a house for the guy to live in. I guess you make the workstation like right here. And then make the foundation. Foundation. So yeah, things are hairy. Oh, so hairy. Things are hairy and scary and nice. La la la. You know what this is? This is also a test of my sound settings because I just reinstalled OBS. I was having, or not OBS, Voice Meter Banana. I was having all sorts of problems with my audio. And it turns out I wasn't charging my headset enough. At least I think that's what it was. But I did a bunch of reinstalling just in case. What other stuff do I have in here? Some steps. Okay. Huh. You think, huh? Should we go 5? 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. No, we should go 4. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4. Double doors. Double doors into this arena. Just the most boring houses. That's okay, man. That's okay. It's something. It's something. Better than nothing. So yeah, what's the big news? Hamas launched a surprise attack against Israel, against against the nation of, against Israel, really, because they just killed everybody, dude. They weren't like going after, like, they weren't targeting specifically soldiers and government buildings. No, dude, they were going after like everybody, and they're doing the kidnapping and ransom thing, the kidnapping thing, which is like, pretty fucking horrible. So that's a big bummer. And then Israel, the government of Israel, is like, oh, we're gonna go all out now, and we're gonna like basically ethnically cleanse half of Gaza. What? You can't do that, dude. That's collective punishment. That's you know it's a war crime to do collective punishment. I can think of another time when a group was collectively punished. Like, it's not a good thing. You don't want to be doing it. And no, but this government of Israel is going to go ahead and push for it, which is like crazy to me. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. Because it's like, that's not gonna solve things, dude. Ethnically cleansing like Gaza is not gonna solve your problems. Okay, but that's the thing. The government, who is the government of Israel, right? Like, who is this entity that's doing this, right? And it's like here's where it's really, really, really important to be able to make distinctions, because many groups are trying to confuse and muddle the thing, and the thing in itself is really, really like nuanced. So you have to be careful and make distinctions. So there is, so understand, there are the Jewish people. The Jewish people have existed for like millennia, and they have been persecuted for millennia, for long time. Like historically, it's not just a one-time deal, dude. Like forever, forever, it's been that way for them. And so it sucks, right? It sucks to be them. So like, and then there was this horrible instance of Nazi Germany, the Nazi government of Germany instituting like a mechanized, industrialized version of killing called genocide. They used all the powers of production, of production advancement, and they used it to exterminate humans. So it was horrible. It's horrible, man. It's horrible because it was brutally efficient at doing so, which scares, which is frightening because that machine could be turned on any of us. Not, it just happened to be the Jews this time, but it's been other people in the past, just never to this level of efficiency. So the Jewish people are a people. Okay. Israel is a state, is a government. It's an entity. It is not the Jewish people. It's a state. It's a thing that's different from the Jewish people. That's like, it's they're not the same thing. Israel and the Jewish people are not the same thing. That's an important distinction to make. Okay, another important distinction to make is that there are the Palestinian people, who have lived in that area for like forever. They lived there forever. Okay. Same thing with the Jewish people, right? Both peoples have had like people forever. It's not like one group appeared at it, like it's not like, yeah, they've both been there a real long time, both of them. Okay. I wonder if this will work. Oh no. Oh yeah, maybe if I go like this. Yeah, it's still like a way in and out. Pretty good. Can I take this corner out? Yeah, dude. So there's the Palestinian people, the people who lived there forever, right? Hamas is a group that uses terrorist tactics to achieve its goals. The Palestinian people and Hamas are not the same thing. They're distinctly different. Hamas is responsible for the terrorist attack. The Palestinian people are not responsible for the terrorist attack. So the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, which is the army, the military of Israel, the government of Israel, is controlled by the government of Israel. Now you might say, okay, but then the people of Israel chose that government. Well, it's a little bit complicated. Because the leader of the government of Israel right now is named Bibi Netanyahu, who's a criminal. He's been indicted multiple times, and he's a fascist. He doesn't really believe in rule of law. So he has a fascist government. So like, yeah, that's pretty bad, right? And the United States, it's not like we're perfect. We too had a fascist in charge for like 4 years when Donald Trump took power. So the people of Israel are demonstrating to and recently he tried to basically dismantle the judiciary and say the judiciary couldn't say anymore that laws were against the Constitution. He's basically taking away the power of judicial review from the judiciary so that his party could hold on to power. So I'm not saying that the state of Israel is not perfect. And a lot of their decisions regarding the use of force can be debated. But just because the state of Israel is all messed up does not reflect upon the Jewish people. They're two separate entities. And just like Hamas is not reflective or indicative of the Palestinian people. The people who live in Gaza, a lot of them have nothing to do whatsoever. Most of them have nothing to do whatsoever with Hamas, with terrorism. All they want to do is live their lives. That's all they want. That's all they want. They don't care about blowing up shit. They don't want to fucking sow hatred. They don't care, dude. They just want to live. So by criticizing Hamas, you can't forget that the Palestinian people are in a fucked up situation. So what is the situation that they're in? Well, everyone was living happy. Well, in the Middle East, I guess, in Palestine, I guess, up until about World War II. Then a bunch of people who didn't live in the area started showing up, and then after World War II, a lot of Europeans, a lot of them were Jewish, and they all moved to Israel, and then England or the UK owned the area. They had the mandate on the area, so they tried to draw out a map that would be fair to everybody. But basically the Palestinian people would lose a big chunk of their land. Well, it wasn't going to be a giant chunk, but it became a giant chunk. And then their neighbors, other countries, not Palestine, because Palestine wasn't there. Other countries attacked, and Israel not only defeated them, but they took territory. They seized more territory. And they're like, yeah, we don't want to give this back. We won this in a war. But what does that mean for the Palestinian people who didn't order the attack from these other nations? And it's their lands that they now lost, even though they have nothing to do with those other nations that attacked. those other governments. They didn't control the governments. They weren't citizens of those governments when those governments attacked. But because those governments attacked, now they lose their land? What? So, like, it's fucked up from both sides, right? You got, like, a people who were, like, systematically genocided, who are just trying to find safety in the world after millennia of persecution. Then you have people who just lived there. They were just living there when outsiders showed up and like took their land and colonized their land. Like both, like, it's fucked up, man. I don't know what is the solution to it. Well, here, yeah, the way I thought of it a long time ago was like, well, I look at, I mean, how can I relate to this whole thing? I have to look at them through the lens of being an American. I'm an American. That's my experience, right? So that's my history. So, you know, looking at it through an American lens, and I know my history, right? My history, the birth of my nation is predicated upon slavery and genocide. I'm aware of this. Like, maybe this is a new phenomena, but, you know, for Americans to be aware of their own history, maybe not. Like, maybe it was just new for me. But yeah, so, and a lot of our history, a lot of the American history is built upon conquest. So that makes the, you know, that brings up the question: aren't you being hypocritical about freedom and justice when your entire country is built upon slavery and genocide? And to that I say, well, I mean, yeah, dude, I'm aware of it, right? And the whole point of it is to overcome that beginning. And I'm not saying that the United States is perfect by any means, but we are aware of the problem and the way it manifests here in the United States is white supremacy. And it's justified through like evangelical Christianity. Well, conservative evangelical Christianity. I don't know all the labels properly, maybe. But like a conservative strain of Christianity. So that's our deal, right? The United States, in order to survive against, it's a brand new nation, in order to survive against all these other powers, the people of the United States had to team up with other people that had like different interests than them, different values, but they had to team up, otherwise they would both be destroyed. Damn, dude, the Hateful Eight? That's kind of like what happened. Anyways, and then the history of the United States afterwards has been trying to resolve that initial relationship of two people that have different value, two different groups with different value systems trying to coexist with each other. And like, you can't, right? I don't think that Jews and I don't think that Israelis and Palestinians have a different value system. So their problem is actually less than the American problem. That's kind of funny. The American problem, we have like what I guess they would call Nazis, but they're Confederates. They're people who don't believe in democracy. They literally don't believe in democracy. Like, so we're supposed to coexist with people who literally don't believe in democracy? No, you can't do it, right? You can't do it. That's why America is in such a state of dysfunction, because you cannot you cannot coexist with people who don't believe in democracy. But in the the Palestine Israel question, it's not a problem having different value systems. I mean, essentially, don't they believe in the same God? Like, like Jews, Christians, and Muslims all believe in the same God. It doesn't really matter, right? Like, I don't understand. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm the stupid one. I don't know. Hey, that guy's got a job. His shop is really boring, but you got a job now, dude. You can spruce up your house a little bit. That's too high up. That's no good. Yeah, I think the Americans have a lot bigger hill to climb than maybe I'm stupid here, but like here to put it into like like a similar frame, it would be like as if the ancient Hebrews and the pharaoh decided to make a government together. Instead of the Hebrews leaving Egypt, they just hung out there and made a government with the pharaoh, with the Egyptians, and said, "All right, we need to find a way to live together." But the Egyptians want to enslave the Hebrews. How do you make a government with people like that? Like, so yeah, so my idea is that why don't we just erase Israel and Palestine, the whole thing, and make like Palestine or something, like just literally like just mash them together, man, because and create. And I understand that the fear of the Israelis, the whole point of making Israel was to create a safe place for Jewish people to come to no matter what. Okay, that's not an incompatible idea with living, coexisting peacefully in a democracy with Muslims. There's there's nothing that precludes creating a government in which minorities are like have extreme protections. So like what was that? I heard somebody say, and I don't know who said it. I have to go do research to find it. He said there's three things. I should actually write this down. Okay. I wanted to actually get rid of that, and that. Thanks, dude. All right. It's like uh let's see. How do they put it? Majority? Was it? Okay. This is the dilemma. This is fundamentally, according to this guy, who I don't know who it is, but according to this guy, this is fundamentally the problem. The problem facing the world with regards to the Israeli-Palestine issue. You have three things here. You have three things. Three things. You have democracy. You have all of ancient Israel, all of ancient Israeli land, ancient Israeli land, and you have Jewish. I spelled that wrong. You have Jewish majority. You can only pick two. You can only pick two. You cannot have all three. You can only pick two. You can pick a democracy, and you can have all of ancient Israeli land, but you will not have a Jewish majority. You can pick democracy, you can pick Jewish majority, but you will not have all of ancient Israeli land. You can pick all of ancient Israeli land, and you can pick Jewish majority, but you will not have democracy. That is the dilemma facing the world today. That is the crux. How do you solve this problem? Now, Netanyahu represents no democracy. He's a fascist. Netanyahu is a criminal and a fascist. So, in essence, what he is he's jettisoning democracy. What Netanyahu and his allies want to do is to get rid of democracy so they can have all of ancient Israeli land and Jewish majority. They won't have a democracy. It'll be apartheid, but that's what they're okay with, because for them, this is the important thing. See, for people who are like afraid of a repeat of genocide, that they don't ever want that to happen again. They want a safe place for Jews to come to no matter what. They want this. This is what they want. Like, I think the only people who care about having all of the ancient land are the fascists. And like, I don't know who, like, democracy. Everybody wants democracy, right? Unless you're like a rich person. But everybody wants democracy. Yeah, unless you're a fascist. And then so this is the dilemma right here. This is the three. Choose your fighter. Pick two. I should make another sign. This is what it boils down to. Israeli dilemma. Pick any two. Do you pick democracy and all of ancient Israel? Then you're not going to have a Jewish majority. Do you pick democracy and a Jewish majority? Then you're not going to have all of ancient Israel. Do you pick all of ancient Israel and Jewish majority? Then you're not going to have democracy. What do you value? What is your values? You know what? Like, do any other foreigners like do this kind of analysis for America? Because I would kind of dig it. It'd kind of neat to see what they think. what other people see about the USA. Because what I see is that in the USA, we're still working through our deal, right? Our situation isn't like this. Our situation is more like the slavers want to install neo-feudalism, and they were never on board with democracy. And I know, I mean, like, since the beginning, right? Look in our Constitution, dude. It's enshrined in our Constitution that the slavers don't actually care about representation, they care about power. How do I know this? Because the slavers, when our Constitution was written, the slavers insisted that their slaves be counted for representation in the government, even though their enslaved people didn't get the right to vote. So that meant the slavers didn't actually care about their enslaved people, they just wanted the power. Those people, those slavers, have never ever been dealt with in the United States. They have never been dealt with. There was a civil war, but they were not defeated. They still linger. They're still here. So, yeah, if any other foreigner wants to talk about the United States and our own dilemma, right? If this is the Israeli dilemma, then that's the American dilemma. The American dilemma is that, like you're a nation comprised of people who want multiracial democracy and people who want slavery. How do you reconcile that? And the thing is that the people who want slavery are only the elites. Their supporters probably don't want slavery themselves, don't benefit from it, but I don't know, they were brainwashed into it, supporting it. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that's what's going on here. For sure, dude. All you got to do is look at the US federal government, and you can absolutely see how the insurrectionists are trying their damnedest to crash this country. There are more indictments put upon George Santos, who's a representative who's a representative from New York, I think New York, and he's Republican. But he's like, he engaged in fraud, dude. That's how he got there. He's a fraudster. But the Republicans will not remove him from office. Why? Because they need his vote in order to hold on to power. Kevin McCarthy needed his vote in order to become Speaker of the House. So Kevin McCarthy called his friends to make sure that George Santos was out on bail so he could vote for Kevin McCarthy. I'm telling you, dude. Slavers. Yeah, the Americans try to deal with their problem by doing reservations. And it's not really working. I don't think it really worked. Because if it worked, you would expect the native population to have rebounded by a lot. However, it hasn't. The native population's like a fraction of what it used to be. So clearly, the American idea of using reservations is a bad idea, and Israel should not emulate that. It's already been proven to not work. I mean, you already have reservations in the form of refugee camps all over the place. The longer you kick the can down the road, the worse it's going to be. Hell of a test, huh? What's neat is that like my GPU doesn't really get that much hotter. I love these new drivers, dude. I think they're amazing. I'm using the preview drivers. The patch 3 or 4, the one that they rescinded because people were getting banned from Counter-Strike 2. Ah ha ha. I don't play any like well, I play like Apex Legends, so I guess I gotta watch out for that. But I haven't played Apex Legends in like months, so I don't know. I don't even care. I don't plan on playing it. It's not like I'm like. I mean, I kind of want to. Maybe I can see what fluid frames do, but nah. Don't really care that much. I just like flying around aimlessly, enjoying my frames per second. Enjoying my frames per second. Enjoying the frames per second. Enjoying the frames per second. Ow. I'm just saying. Look at all this wheat. And no one to harvest it. Huh. All right. Yep. Things are getting crazy here. Tommy Tuberville. Tommy Tuberville is a guy who lives in Florida. And he got himself to be. He lives in Florida, but he's a senator for Alabama, and he's blocking a bunch of promotions to the military. So he's wrecking our military. And then the Republicans in the House can't select the Speaker of the House, so they're not able to like provide aid for anybody. Even if they wanted to provide aid for Israel, they couldn't do it because they don't have a Speaker of the House. And then oh yeah. Like the MAGA extremists are making it a position that you have to stop helping Ukraine. they want to stop helping Ukraine to help so that Russia can like catch its breath and fight back and like invade more. Why would Republicans want to do that? Why would Republicans want to help Russia and hurt Ukraine? Why would they do that? I don't know, dude. Let's ask the 7 or 8 Republicans that flew to be in Moscow on the 4th of July. Let's ask them. You think I'm joking? No, dude, that's for real. Just like how Mike Pompeo surrendered to the Taliban on September 11th. In 2018, A bunch of Republican senators and congresspeople flew to Moscow to be in Moscow on the 4th of July. It's crazy, man. I'm not even joking. It's real. It's real. Go look it up. They know exactly what they're doing. They're not dumb. The Republicans are Confederates, dude. That's what I'm telling you. Republicans surrendered to the Taliban on September 11th, and they flew to be in Moscow on the 4th of July. Republicans, Confederates. See, for a Confederate, they don't really much care about when the United States was born, because they're Confederates. They don't pledge allegiance to the United States. For a Confederate, they don't much care that the United States suffered its biggest terrorist attack on September 11th because they're Confederates. They're not allied with the United States. So yeah, I want Hamas to stop, and I want Israel to not ethnically cleanse the Palestinians. It almost seems as if Netanyahu is trying to make his own 9/11 so he can emulate what W. Bush did. Remember what W. Bush did? He used the trauma of 9/11 to push the neocon agenda way more than it would have went had that not happened. Up until 9/11, George W. Bush was a joke. No one liked him. He was seen as a bumbling idiot. Well, he was a bumbling idiot. And everyone hated him until September 11th happened. All of a sudden, George W. Bush became like Mr. Cool Guy, and everyone passed the Republican agenda. And that's why we got stuck in two pointless wars. So Netanyahu, I feel, is going to do the same thing. He and W. Bush are cut from the same cloth. They will exploit a national tragedy in order to push their own agenda. And like, I'm concerned because like the United States is going to be involved in it, like not going to be involved in it, but like, I mean, we already are, right? So like, this is just on top of everything else. Man. They fixed Iris. I guess the problem was Iris. That's why none of the PBR stuff was working, because some problem with Iris, and they fixed it, and it looks really good, right? It looks nice. Although I can't run what's it called? Other shaders and OBS at the same time. OBS, fix that problem. All right, so that's kind of the analysis. I mean, oh man, what else is going on? Like in the United States. So much, dude. All right, I think that'll do it for now. I'm going to see if this test stream is working even. Are you even working? I will Until next time, peace. Pogo Kiddo out. Stop.